So this is the way that I've set up the Sony A7 III. It's just the way I do it, and I've tried to map it closely to the GH5 which I had previously. I'm not going to be going through the way you actually map the buttons. You can find that information now already on YouTube, loads of videos, or you could just use the manual. Now let's start off with the C1 button, which I use for ISO, and the C2 button I use for white balance. And I always set a custom white balance in camera, no matter what camera I'm using, whether it's photography or for video. C3 is quite simply the crop mode or the Super 35 mode. For zebras, I'm using the trash can, and that will obviously tell me areas that are overexposed. Hitting right on the function wheel will then allow me to turn peaking, focus peaking on and off, and sometimes I turn it off because it can be really distracting. Pressing up on the function wheel will then allow us to cycle through the different display modes, allowing us to have more or less information, along with having the spirit level to see if the camera is horizontally perfect. Next, if I hit the FN button, that will take me into the small function menu, and here I've added a few things which I pretty much find quite useful every time I shoot. One is the microphone level. I can also change the frame rate for the S and Q settings, so that's basically slow motion. I can turn off the Rec. 709 assistant, which allows me to see how the footage will look once it's been converted to Rec. 709 color space. And I've also got a really important element in here, and that is the focusing mode. And I generally tend to use zone focus or flexible spot focus. I've generally always got auto face detect on. If we go into the menu next, I've got some custom menus set, and that's really useful because obviously the Sony menus are quite extensive. On the first one, I've got the resolution and frame rate recording, amongst a few others. On the second page, I've got the format tab, so if I need to format a card very quickly, I can do that. And then so on and so forth. I've put different things in there which I find pretty useful, and I don't really need to cycle through all of the other menus in order to get to them. You'll find on menu 4 that I also have some things related to photography, and that includes the JPEG or RAW modes. Now if we go over to manual mode for photography, the AF on button now turns into eye autofocus, which when using the Sigma lenses with the MC11 adapter works really well. You'll see already that the face has been recognized and the camera is tracking with auto face detect on. And when I hold down the AF on button, it quickly switches to eye autofocus. Now the AEL button allows for tracking, so I can just basically click the screen, automatically track anything that is in the scene that's moving forward and backwards. Generally I'm shooting portraits, models, etc. So face detect and eye autofocus is literally all I need. So that's it. Those are my custom settings for my Sony A7 III. Hopefully you found the video useful. I'll see you in the next one.